In a divided world, folklore goes beyond boundaries, and a recognition and acceptance of folklore in its own context is a good way of helping us understand a common universe, a common truth. The stories featured in this film, which was a part of the story tour, come from diverse sources. As far away as Latin America to Southeast Asia and around the globe again, north and south of our planet. And you will find that though these stories come from diverse sources, there are common themes and threads of storylines which run through them, linking them, joining them into a common whole. I have tried through this tour and through the sequencing of stories to bring to my listeners an understanding that we belong to the same heritage and due to time and circumstance have fallen away from each other. I have no agenda. I'm not out to prove any point whatsoever. I am here as a storyteller to tell a tale that has traveled down the flues of time, constantly reinventing itself through the words of storytellers before me. Each time the story was told, it had a special life of its own, a reality of its own, and that reality was created not by the storyteller and the story alone, but also by the audience, the listeners, those who were present. And together, they created the space filled with energy. Now, we travel all the way to the land of the Inuits. You, the Inuits, Eskimos. Yeah, the Eskimo community. Where? Right up beyond Alaska. Right up. It's cold, it's bitterly cold, and it's dark, but it's also light. They also have light. But you know, in the beginning, they didn't have any light. Oh God, I hope there are no eggs in the story. No, there are no eggs. There are no eggs. Shut up. So, here we were, the Inuits. Couldn't see even their own hands. No light. Of course, they lit seal oil and they would make lamps, and you read them, you've got igloos and whatever. Babies would cry in the night and it sounded like, something horrific in the dark. Couldn't solve the problem. Famous Inuits took their spears and they set off in search of light. Many years passed and they never came back. They perished in the snow and the ice and the dark. Bands of warriors went off in their little boats, looking for water, and rather looking for light. They all gave up and they said, what to do? And then guess who turned up? A crow. See, no more turtles, no more eggs, no more hens, no more swallows, but we now got no more tortoise. We've got a smart crow. And in a lot of stories all over the world, folk stories, The crow is considered, the crow and the raven is considered to be very smart. You know who else is supposed to be very smart? Yeah, the jackal. And in America they call them the coyotes. They are considered very smart. And in fact they are considered sacred. So here we are. The crow says, oh, I'll find light. You find light. Find light. Of course I'm going to find light. I'll find light for you. I suppose you're going to ask for my daughter's hand in marriage, said the headman. I think you've got an ugly daughter, said the crow. What do you mean? He said, no, I don't want to be paid in hands in marriage or money or food or anything. I want to be remembered as the crow who found light. Okay? Run along then. Find the light. So the crow flew and flew and flew. Long, long ago, he had a gull, a seagull friend, who had told him, if you travel north for 10,000 breaths and then west for 10,000 breaths and then on and on and on, you will find the lighted house, the house of light. Wow! So he remembered and he goes on. But he's just a crow, he can't fly really very, very far. And then the wind settled down. So there was no wind, there was very little air current to get him forward, but he struggled and said, I'm going to prove that I, the crow, found light. Yes. Finally, after all the struggles, what did he find? A glowing house, a house of light. Wow, this is no dream. So with his claw, he clawed his wing, wake up, wake up. It was no dream. It was the house of light. So on he went. And he could hear a baby. Oh God, it's a baby. He is Eskimo. Oh, this is also Eskimo. Old tradition. They'll do anything to keep the baby quiet. So he goes closer into the house of light, which is actually in igloo, right? And he turns himself into a little speck of dust. Now, as a speck of dust, you will go into the light and you travel with the light like that. No? He goes into the house. And where does he go? Into the ear of the baby. Yeah. And he tells the baby, he looks in, there's a case there, and there's a light coming up to it. You can see a glowing ball. The baby stops crying, thinking like this. The mother looks at the baby, behaving very grown up. What's wrong with the baby? Baby thinking this way because he's listening to the crow inside his ear, right? And then the baby, like these remote control robots, the crow gets the baby to crawl towards the light. And then it tries to put his hand in. And the mother says, oh, whatever the Eskimo language is. And they give the ball to the baby. It's a small ball actually. The crow suddenly becomes the crow. Whack! Takes the ball and is gone. Hey, come back, you crow, you baby. No, don't shout at the baby. The baby is just a baby. The baby starts off again. And the crow takes the light. And it flies. On the way, he loses the way. Wherever he goes, the little of the ball falls through the darkness. And land is lit up. And he finally arrives. Everybody shouts, the crow has done it. And the chief says, you can have my daughter. I don't want your damn daughter, he says. And light. So there's the crow, the little crow. All of us don't like crows. Most of us don't like crows. They're meddlesome, noisy creatures. Found the light. The Eskimos. Thank you.